Hello and welcome to City Racer Gaming. I'm your host, City. And today we are doing something a little bit different from what I normally do. As you may have heard of, there's this channel called AlternateHistoryHub. And they have a contest going right now. And this contest is to create your own nation. And it's an alternate country. It can be a story based in history. It can be completely random, but it must have a flag, must have a map, and it must be a maximum of 750 words. And this is my entry to that contest. So my country is called Iberia Italia. At least that's the short name. Its official name is Iberian Italian Federal Republic. Now, I decided to make one based in history. So first I'm going to go over its description, and then afterwards I will go and I'll talk about its flag and its map. So, without further ado, let's begin. Iberia Italia is well known as one of the foremost powers in Europe. However, just 300 years ago, it was nothing more than a regional power. Just how did this nation rise to dominate not only European affairs, but much of the Americas as well? Historians generally agree that it began with the War of the Navarran Succession. After Queen Blanche I of Navarra died in 1441, the kingdom went to her husband, King John II of Aragon. The nation of Castile, eyeing Navarra for themselves, had other plans. With one of Blanche's obscure relatives as their puppet, King John II of Castile declared war. Castile, with its ally Portugal, saw early success against the outnumbered Aragonese army. However, after 2 years of success, Castile's advance was stopped just short of Valencia, Aragon's capital, due in part to reinforcements by Austria. The tide had turned, and after 5 long years, Castile was defeated. The resulting peace saw Aragon push the border nearly 50 miles west. While Aragon grew in power to rival Castile, it was unable to capitalize for nearly 40 years, until the coronation of King John III. King John III was the grandson of John II, however, he was not in line to the throne. After his uncle, King Ferran II, died without an heir, John spent years gaining support for his claim to the throne, succeeding in 1486. The Habsburg now ruled Aragon. John brought great change to Aragon. Firstly, he attacked Castile to gain access to the ports, so that a larger navy could be constructed to more effectively fight the Barbary pirates. After a relatively easy war, much of Castile's coast was seized. Far more important, however, was John's decision in 1521 to convert to Lutheran. Knowing that the resulting backlash could see him removed from power, John took steps to mitigate the damage. John didn't make Lutheran the official religion, instead writing a document titled The Rights of Men, Provinces, and Government. This guaranteed freedom of religion to all citizens, abolished slavery and indentured servitude. It also gave provinces more self-rule and gave citizens the right to elect local government. While John III made many important decisions, that had a tremendous impact on Aragon, his contributions were largely overshadowed by the most famous monarch in Aragonese history, Queen Cassandra I. When she took the throne in 1579, she inherited a successful kingdom. Aragon had colonies from California to Argentina, diplomatically taken over Castile, and successfully fended off 2 invasions from France, due in large part to a massive mercenary network across Europe. Cassandra was a shrewd politician, but an even greater military strategist, or strategist if you prefer. She knew how effective the nation's mercenary network was and saw an opportunity. Instead of using it for defense, she decided to use it to invade France. Leading the army herself, she was able to overwhelm France with a combination of a large numerical advantage and superior tactics. After 3 wars over nearly 35 years, both France and her ally Portugal were severely weakened. France had lost all of its south, and Portugal was reduced to the area directly around Lisbon. Cassandra was not finished with her ambition and began setting her sights on Italy. However, before she could act, she died in her sleep at age 68. This left her son, Alfonso VII, to deal with the newly formed Italian coalition. Alfonso was not the military genius Cassandra was. The Italian coalition was formidable, but weaker than Aragon, now called Iberia. Alfonso's mismanagement caused Iberia to lose the war. The embarrassment forced Alfonso to abdicate, putting his 16-year-old son Ferran III on the throne. Ferran was an excellent diplomat who was able to convince Milan, whose monarch saw the defeat of the coalition as inevitable, to become part of Iberia in order to avoid invasion. The Italian coalition was severely weakened and defeated in less than 25 years. It is now 1794, and just 2 months ago, Iberia became Iberia Italia. With growing French nationalism in Iberian France and political turmoil in France, the Iberian government as well as local leaders had been working on a new constitution for nearly 2 years. The result is a government very similar to the United States, except banning slavery, retaining a figurehead monarch, and not having an electoral college. In addition to the Constitution, a policy designed to limit French nationalism and promote a national culture has been introduced. So there you go. That's the description of Iberia Italia. So if you need a little more context for the era, this is supposed to have been written in 1794. Well, 1794, France had gone revolutionary, and nationalism was rampant there. And this is just before they go and seize much of Europe. Now, onto the map and the flag. The map I will go over first. Now, as you can see here, Iberia Italia is fairly large. It controls the entire Iberian Peninsula, which for those of you who don't know, that is modern-day Spain and Portugal. It also controls southern France and all of Italy. It does not control Malta down here. That is a separate country. But as you can tell, this period in history, it's French Revolution, revolutionary France, Austria's over here, And Morocco, who in this alternate universe is one of Iberia Italia's closest allies. Their other ally currently is the newly formed United States. And that's what you got for there. And lastly, let's move on to the flag. Now, the flag here, it doesn't look that great because there's not really too much detail and it's not old looking. But what I did is because the game I made the map in Europa Universalis 4, well, in it, the Aragonese flag, it's got stripes like this. They go the other ways instead of on the top, they're like up and down instead of left and right. And they're red and orange. Now, I'm just gonna go. The idea is, when it came Iberia, it was the same Aragonese flag turned sideways. And now Italy, on the other hand, Italy was represented by a different flag, while the main flag of Iberia was still raised. The area did have a local flag, and the local flag, it's based on, well, not based on, it is the same flag they had before the Aragonese conquered it historically. Well, not Italy, but Naples. So the Naples flag in this universe represented Italy. Now, this new flag is a combination of the two. Just kind of why it looks a little strange. But the, because the Naples flag, it's blue background. So on this, I replaced the orange with blue. So it's red and blue stripes. As for these yellow things, I don't know what they're called. They were also taken from the Naples flag. And three of them are important because they represent Iberia, the one in the middle, because it's above the other two, France on the left, and Italy on the right. Now, why this is Iberia Italia and French nationalism is being discouraged, this is the only real representation of France that they have in the in really any symbolism of the nation. Just one little yellow thing here representing France. And that's it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And I hope you enjoyed this the alternate nation I made. So I've been your host, City. Thank you guys so much for watching. And I will see you next time. Bye.